I'm Heidi Beckenbach McGann, and I am the counseling director here at SCAIR. And Chelsea, Caitlin, and I are going to conduct a workshop for you that goes over vision boards, also talking about goal setting, processing the past year, as well as a really fun craft that you can work on with you and your family. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome to the winter workshop. My name is Chelsea and my pronouns are she, hers. I'm one of the counseling interns at SCAIR.
And my name is Caitlin. I'm also a counseling intern at SCAIR. My pronouns are she, her, hers. So today we're going to be making a centerpiece craft. You should have directions with this photo on them. And you can put this on your table, your mantle, wherever you like for the holidays. So in your gift bag, it should look like this. And you should have a couple things in there. You should have a jar per adult and per child old enough to complete the craft, a tea light per jar, Epsom salts to roll the jar in, foam brushes, a little container of Mod Podge, which you should have enough per jar, and then these little decorative things to tie onto the jar, and then a piece of twine to tie the decorative piece on. So there are varying sizes of jar, these different 3 ones. So you may have some little ones if you have kiddos at home. So we're going to work through this just kind of while we talk about some of the things that are part of this workshop and kind of reflect on the year and talk about what's to come. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to paint our jars with the Mod Podge. And then we'll pour this Epsom salt out. You can pour this out on a plate or any sort of surface that you don't mind possibly getting a little messy. So I'm going to pour ours on a paper plate. And then just take your foam brush and paint the jar with a layer of the Mod Podge so that the Epsom salts will stick on there.
So, Caitlin, I'm just wondering, just reflecting on this past year, what are you hoping to kind of like finish out your year as? Like, do you have any goals in mind to kind of finish out the year?
I'm trying to just, finish my stack of books on my nightstand. I really enjoy reading and find that a really good escape just from like work and school, and a good way to kind of relax and have something that kind of fills my cup. I'm going to steal this little plate of Epsom salts and wrap my jar in that. But yeah, and also I think spending time in nature is something I really enjoy. So that's something I'm also attempting to do as much as I can before the year ends, especially with our beautiful San Diego weather. It's not too difficult to do that. What about you? Is there anything you're trying to kind of intentionally do before the end of the year?
Yeah, I think similarly to you, kind of like getting outside more, because I'm sure we all are used to being inside now, so it kind of feels comfortable for me to just like be inside. So I think being more aware of like what my body really needs, and I really need to just get outside more and like go on walks. And so I really want to try and plan to do some like fun, exciting things outside before the year ends.
So after you've rolled your jar in the Epsom salt, it should look a little something like this.
Ooh, that's pretty.
I did. You saw about medium thickness layer of the Mod Podge. You should have more than enough. We've covered 2 jars and still have quite a bit in here. But going into 2022, there's also a couple things I kind of want to focus in on. And for me, I like to do a thing where I kind of like choose a word of the year. Have you ever done that, Chelsea?
No, I haven't. But that's a good idea. What would be like your word?
Yeah, I think my word this year is going to be intention. Because I think, especially with COVID over the last couple of years, it's been really easy to just kind of like go with the flow and just like, I don't know, not really be that intentional because we never really knew what was going to be happening day in and day out. So we didn't really get that luxury to do that. So, and just with how much people have lost this year too, I think it's important to focus in on what's important to us and look at like, what do we want our time to consume? So I think for me, again, that time outside and time with friends and connecting and, you know, making the time to do that is really important to me. And like you said, also like paying attention to your body and caring for your health, I think is something that I've let slide a little bit with just how busy things have gotten post-COVID. I'm sure some of you can relate since going back to work in person maybe, or just having kids back in school in person. Things can get pretty hectic and it's easy to forget to get your time outside and get your water in and make sure that you're taking time to maybe cook a meal at home if you have the ability to do that, or get enough exercise in. And I know for me, those things easily slip out when I'm stressed.
Yeah, I think if I'm thinking about a word, for me, it might be just slowing down. Like, I feel that I'm constantly either just working or keeping myself busy through work and never really having enough time for myself to kind of just like be. And for me, it's really hard to just slow down and kind of relax and take care of myself. So again, like one way for me to do that is just like getting outside and like slowing down in that way, and kind of just like even just like sitting in the sun and like taking time to really also just like appreciate being able to go outside and like sit in the sun and go for a walk. So yeah, slowing down. Also too, by like Caitlin mentioned earlier, like reading a book, maybe like reading one of my favorite books or a book that I haven't gotten to, something that's light and like fresh, and that's not a school book. I don't know if anyone at home kind of like has like something that they've really wanted to do but don't have the time to do, or haven't carved out the time to do. So yeah, really slowing down and kind of paying attention to what haven't I done in a while, or something I've done in the past that I want to like do again.
Yeah, and just kind of focusing on those things that bring you joy. I think COVID for a lot of people during lockdown were like, oh, you have to do all these self-improvement things and learn all these new hobbies, but it's okay to kind of go back to the basics and just sit outside in the sun, take your kids to the park, whatever it may be, you know, just to find those simple joys, because it doesn't have to be anything complex. Even with these crafts, you don't have to do things like this all the time. Even just getting out paper and drawing with your kids, or getting some chalk out, you know, and going outside can be some good time to connect with them and be really simple and easy to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think also it's like the simple things that we like remember when we're thinking about like connection and family, or like trying to build connection with others. It doesn't have to be extravagant.
So next we're going to take your twine, and you may have enough to wrap it around a couple times. So I'm going to wrap that around, and then you're going to take your little piece right here, a little decorative piece, and you're going to kind of place it here and then tie it on there. It's gonna be a little tricky, so feel free to have someone like hold your jar while you tie it on. I think I got it. All right, Donna. This part's a little tricky.
Yeah.
And it may, if you have the time, it may be easier to let your jar dry a little bit before, if you can, just to kind of make it a little easier on yourself. And then you can just tie this in a nice little bow, or whatever type of knot you want. I'm just gonna stick that back in there.
This part is a little tricky.
It's hard to do with it on camera too. Just trying to get it so everybody can see.
Hold it. I recommend, having someone hold this for you to make it easier.
We've almost got it, guys.
That looks cute.
There we go. Then you got this cute little centerpiece. So that turned out pretty good. And then you can flip your little light on. Drop that down in your jar. You've got a nice little centerpiece for the holidays.
I like it. It turned out good.
Yeah. And then your little ones will have these like kind of smaller sized ones to do, and you kind of place them around your house. But it should be a fun little craft, get messy a little bit with the kids. But yeah, I think, as we're doing this and thinking about how much I really love doing crafting type activities like this, and how like that's something that I need to prioritize more in the coming year. So I think it's nice to just kind of like use your hands and, get away a little bit from that, all of the brain work we're doing and everything. We're constantly using our brains and thinking about things. And it can be nice to just kind of use your hands and focus on something, whether that's gardening or crafting or even scrapbooking, writing, whatever it may be. Be a good break mentally.
That kind of reminds me of what I need kind of this upcoming year. And I'm thinking about maybe like connecting more with my inner child. I know that we've talked about that in the past.
Yeah.
And like one way to do that, kind of like what you were saying, like even just like drawing, or like, again, going outside, and just like playing. And
I really encourage the parents at home to indulge in that, especially around the holidays. Get messy with your kids while you're making Christmas dinner or cookies or whatever it may be, this craft even.
Yeah.
Try to get into that child mind state a little bit to give yourself a break, because it's really nurturing, and it also nurtures your kids for you to play with them in that way and kind of go to a place of just being a kid and having fun and not being so stressed out, which is what this world kind of pushes us to be.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other ways too to nurture your inner child, I think, and just that can be as simple as like, what was my favorite candy or treat as a kid, and can I get myself that now? And see how you feel about it after, reflect on it and think about what that felt like for you and younger you, to kind of treat yourself in that way and take care of yourself, because we're all kind of reparenting ourselves as adults. No matter how old you are, you're learning to take care of yourself. So that kind of goes on throughout your life and can be a way to further your self-care this year.
Yeah, and I think that also just like parents or caregivers doing that for themselves also really models that for like your children, or for those like around you, to also remember to nurture themselves, take care of themselves, and show themselves love.
Yeah, and modeling those behaviors is really important, because kids are going to copy what they see. So if they learn to do that self-care and learn to take care of themselves that way and be intentional, they're going to repeat that behavior. And that's going to turn to them being people who are really good with their self-care and can handle stress really well and regulate those emotions, like we've talked about in some of the prior trainings.
Yeah.
When we set goals, it's important to make sure that you kind of have some boundaries around those goal settings. So something that's really helpful setting goals is making sure they're specific. So making sure you're kind of not just saying like, oh, I want to run more this year. Like, I'm going to run every morning. So having a time measurement can also be helpful. So how often are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? Kind of what's the who, what, why, when, where, so that you're more likely to follow through with it.
Yeah, maybe also even like getting together with your family or whoever you live with and like writing down your goals together and seeing like what you want for yourself as a goal, and then want like a goal as like a family as well.
Yeah, and something that can also be helpful is writing your goals down actually makes you more likely to complete them. So I encourage you to kind of put them somewhere you can see regularly, even if that's just a post-it on your bathroom mirror, whatever it may be, to kind of remind you every morning, like, okay, like this is what I've set out to do, or maybe on the fridge for you and the kids to see. And some of those family goals may look like, eating dinner together once a week and picking what night of the week is that going to be. Look at your schedules ahead of time. What night's going to work? Okay, if we've got soccer practice on Thursday and work till 8, that's not going to work. So, pick a night everybody can make it. And what's that going to look like? Are you going to sit for an hour? Are you going to sit in front of the TV? What does that really specifically look like so that it's more attainable?
Yeah. And like another example of a goal that can be simple to do with your family is even doing a family outing, such as like just going out on a walk around the neighborhood or going to the park together. Those are also like simple and achievable goals to do as a family.
And a lot of, the activities that people set out to do for the new year, such as getting outside more, improving their health, you can include your kids. So you could go on a weekly bike ride with your kiddos, or, like Chelsea said, a walk, or going to the park, or while they're at the park, you can try to get in a little bit of exercise while they're playing on the jungle gym. And things like that can be helpful, or if your kids are young enough, even just going on a run with them in the stroller. And things like that can be a really good way to incorporate your kids into it, even meditating. I know a lot of people are trying to improve that in their life and allow them more time to kind of increase their mindfulness. There's a lot of kid-friendly meditations now, and you can all set up, dim the lights and just like relax after a long day, or even before bed when you're tucking the kids in.
Yeah, and I would encourage you to also like ask your kids or family members at home what are their goals, and even if they're little kiddos, it might be interesting what they say, and ask them what that looks like or how they're going to reach their goals. And it might be also like spark a fun conversation with family members.
Yeah, and this can be a good time to kind of like, again, model that behavior for kids and like see what do they think. Kids are a lot smarter than we realize, and they're going to have ideas about how do they reach it, what do they want to do, when do they want family dinner to be? Is it going to be takeout? Are they going to help cook? Or who gets to pick what to eat? Things like that, and really involve them in the process is going to make them, I think, more motivated.
Yeah, and really this is going to lead to, again, just like connection with each other.
Yeah, and that's something that, I think is really hard to maintain when everything gets so busy, and can be really tough by the end of the year, especially, after the holidays. As much as that is a time for connection, it can get crazy with everything and getting everything done. People are in the last quarter of their work year. So taking a time to figure out, when are we going to connect on a regular basis, and what are we going to do? Is it a regular game night, family dinner, walks? What is suitable for everybody? Or maybe it's something else every time so that everybody's voice gets to be heard.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I think everything that we're talking about goes back to like our goals of like being intentional and like really slowing down.
Yeah, I think that's just, at least for me, it's come out as really important to just find time to get back to what we enjoy and not focus so much on work and things like that. Although it's important, we all do need to work, at the end of the day, you want to focus in on your family and what matters most to you and what brings you joy and what that looks like, and kind of work on those work-life boundaries.
Okay, so next, we thought it'd be fun if we did a little guided meditation with you to kind of help ground you and center you to wrap up the new year. So I will be doing the meditation with you all, and let's see, find a comfortable position at home. You can sit in your chair like Caitlin and I are, or you can lie down. You can also close your eyes if that feels comfortable. So here we go. So just imagine you're lying somewhere very comfortable, and your body starts to relax more and more. You begin to feel warm and cozy inside. even though maybe outside is really cold and the air feels crisp. Maybe the trees have lost their leaves and have gone to sleep, getting ready for the winter. Imagine yourself curled up in front of maybe a nice warm fireplace, and you watch the flames flicker, yellow, red, orange. The golden yellow flame seems to relax you even further as you enjoy the warmth and the coziness. And as you lie or sit in your chair, enjoying this moment of relaxation, you start to maybe remember some of the wonderful things that have happened this past year. There have been many moments that have made you happy. Maybe there are many moments that have made you smile and feel grateful. It's been a good year. You've grown on the outside and on the inside too. You're smarter and wiser. You know yourself better. And you're getting to know your personal strengths and gifts more and more. Take a moment to just breathe. You can breathe in through your nose and breathe out of your mouth. If there's anything you wish to leave behind, take a moment to let that go now. Breathe in deeply again. And when you let your breath out, just blow all the things away. The new year will bring a brand new start. Now is the time to think about all the amazing things you want to accomplish or get done, do with your family, with yourself. Remember, you can achieve anything that you put your mind to. Breathe in and breathe out. So start to imagine all the wonderful things you'd like to do this coming year. Maybe you want to get better at something you enjoy doing, or perhaps learn a new skill. Maybe you want to spend more time helping others or your family. Whatever you decide, you'll have a wonderful goal to work towards each and every day. Breathe in, one more deep breath, and then let it out. Take one more deep breath. And imagine yourself at the end of the year having accomplished all these wonderful things that you've been thinking about. Picture yourself having succeeded and hold on tightly to that image in your mind and in your heart. And then whenever you're ready, you can, if you have your eyes closed, open your eyes, maybe stretch, give your body a nice stretch, and take another deep breath in and release.
We we just want to wrap up by thanking everybody for watching, and we hope you had have a healthy and happy holiday and have a good start to your new year and can kind of go forward with some of these new skills. And a nice little centerpiece is a bonus, and you can come back to this and also do the meditation anytime you feel like it would be helpful.
Yes, and let us know if you enjoyed the meditation or want other types of like grounding exercises or workshops for us to do with you all.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
And happy holidays.
Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you all about vision boards. I know we're kind of winding down at the end of the year, and a lot of us are reflecting on kind of just the year that's passed, and then also getting ready to set some new goals for the future and for the new year that's going to be coming up. So I wanted to share some things in regards to vision boards. You may have heard or made them before previously, and now that we've kind of moved into different directions, I wanted to give you different options and different ways of putting together vision boards for yourself, and then also just the opportunity to maybe do them with your family as a whole. They can be a really great way of helping to set intentions for the year, also reminding us of our goals and helping us stay on track of things. So I'm going to share with you all just a little PowerPoint that I have for this. Okay, so not only do I want to talk about vision boards, but I want us to talk about vision boards and setting intentions around them, right? So intentions are really kind of focusing the mind towards creating something that we want in our lives. And there's different specific ways that we can do that in order to kind of get the ball rolling and help us stay motivated and stay focused on the targets that we're setting for ourselves. Here's a good example of a vision board, and I'm going to talk about some of the ways that we can kind of create intentional ones so that we can, create what we want for ourselves and our family. So the first thing that's recommended is to get kind of a clear understanding on what your big picture is and what it is you really want. I think a lot of the times we have these goals that we think we're supposed to have, and it's important for us to really kind of reflect on what's important to us and our values around that. Also, really knowing why do we want these specific things. I know a lot of you have kids, so the whole thing around motivating people, and especially kids, is to give a reason why. If somebody comes up to you and asks you or tells you, hey, go do this, we're automatically usually on the defensive or not more inclined to get something done. But if you give us a good enough reason into the why behind a behavior, we're more likely to follow through, and we're also more likely to follow through like feeling positively about the experience. So when you're setting your goals and your intentions for yourself, I really want you to take a step back and think, why is this important for you to start creating this for yourself? Why is this important for your family? And how it will be helpful in the future for you to start meeting some of these goals for yourself. Also, another recommendation is to just choose a word or theme for the year. Obviously, this one in here has lots of words, but sometimes it's helpful to kind of have like an underlying topic or theme, whether or not you really want to focus in on your health, right? And that can be health for mind, body, spirit all around, or it can be in creating abundance, right? Allowing more opportunities, more wealth, different things like that, trying to find what the theme is around what you're trying to create for yourself can be helpful in really setting that target for where you want to go. Also, I don't know if many of you have heard of, but SMART goals are oftentimes brought up when we're talking about goal setting for ourselves. and making sure that we're staying on track for what we're trying to create. So SMART goals is the acronym, and it stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. And I'm going to go over a little bit just about that, just so you kind of understand the reasons why and how to create more SMART type goals. So in regards to specific, you want to make your goals specific and narrow for more effective planning, right? If we have these really, really broad goals, it's hard for us to plan and find strategic ways of accomplishing something, right? It's a lot easier if we're like, make a phone call tomorrow. We know that that is going to be something that's going to be easily accomplished because we're really specific about the whens, the whys, the whos, the whats. So when you're starting to plan goals for yourself, just being mindful about being specific about what it is you really want and what you really want to attain, okay? The M stands for measurable. And I apologize for my background. Measurable, it's about defining what evidence will prove you're making progress and then reevaluate when necessary. So like a measurable goal would be if we're thinking about health and maybe weight loss, would be like lose 5 pounds by a certain amount of time. So that's a certain measurable goal, and that's a specific one. Or go for 3 walks a week, or do journaling 2 times a week. So you're able to see like measurable progress because you have that specific measurable goal in what you're planning. Also attainable. Make sure you can reasonably accomplish your goal within a certain time frame. I think a lot of us were just, we want to reach big goals, and that's amazing and awesome. And I definitely promote doing that, but finding the attainable goals along the way until you're reaching that big goal is going to be really effective, because the more we're feeling productive and the more we're feeling like we've accomplished, the more likely we're to stay on track and keep moving. If we keep working really, really hard for something and it seems out of reach, then it can create a behavior of like giving up or not staying in tune with things. So we want to make more smaller attainable goals towards these bigger ones so that we can keep moving in the direction that we want to. Also relevant, your goals should align with your values and long-term objectives, right? I mean, if we have a goal that's not in alignment with really what we care about or what we want, the likelihood of us reaching it is very slim, because we're not going to have that internal motivation to get the stuff done that we really want for ourselves. Also time-based. So set a realistic, ambitious end date for task prioritization and motivation, right? It's important to see how long something's going to take and being realistic about that amount of time and making it happen. So in regards to time, how much time do you need to accomplish something? Like, what's realistic around that? We don't want to do too far ahead, because that can seem, like we won't be able to reach that. So you just want to be time sensitive with what's going to happen, whether or not you're giving yourself a few days, a week, or a month, just checking in on that so that you can stay on top of what it is that you want to get done. The next steps are, whether or not you're doing it old school, which is kind of just paper, tape, glue, scissors. You can grab magazines, you can grab different images that you search on the computer. You can utilize Pinterest in regards to pulling different images so that you can put together what you want to create for your vision board. Then it's getting your images. You can also get images of yourself, right? So different things that you've either experienced or done previously that you still want to bring forward and maybe have more of, whether or not you've done really fun stuff with your kids or traveled, or, you know, things with you in school or different things that you want to start creating more of, it's also great to have images of yourself that make you happy, because when we want to look at this, it wants to evoke not only like motivation, but also like happiness to be moving forward in our in what we're trying to accomplish. Then we want to use all these different images that we've gathered and create a collage of words and images on the board, right? You know, depending on however you want to organize it or put it together, but, you know, just making sure that whatever you've pulled image and word wise, it really is resonating with you and what you want for yourself. And then finally, you know, we want to place the vision board in a location that you're going to be able to see frequently. The more that we're reminded of our goals, and a lot of us are visual learners, so seeing that that physical representation of what we want, the more we are training our brains towards going towards that targeted direction. It's, you know, and be the expression out of sight, out of mind, right? When we are keeping stuff away from being in our, you know, being in our proximity, this way, by having it somewhere close to us, it'll just be a consistent reminder to stay on track and to also do a lot of the things that will help move us in these certain directions. So I just wanted to show you some different examples of vision boards. You know, a vision board is for you. You can't do it wrong, right? So, but some of us are going to have smaller, or not necessarily smaller goals, but maybe more specific ones. Some of us might have lots of different things that we're trying to accomplish. All is great. It just really matters what resonates with you and what you specifically are trying to do. I liked this one. I thought it was simple, but it kind of had a lot of different things. I also loved Oprah on there. I mean, who doesn't want to be Oprah, right? But really just going through the magazines, going through the images and seeing what hits you, right? Because it's about you looking at it consistently and you being in alignment with whatever the images are that you've chosen for yourself. There's also this example, right? This one I chose to show you just to give you some ideas on what you might want to start manifesting and creating for yourself in your lives, right? So we have different things around family or jobs or, you know, traveling, or maybe working towards getting a car, you know, a lot of different things that will be very personal for you and your choices on what would be most helpful for you in your life. And then this one was just like really pretty, you know, depends on how much time you have. But this one came out really nicely. So I just kind of wanted to share and give you different ideas on some of the ways that people put together vision boards, right? And all of those are very different, and it's going to be different between each one of you, and just making sure that you're doing something that you feel most in alignment with, okay? I also, here, I'll show you my little vision board. So that I created for myself. This is like the old school version of just, you know, taking things out for me personally. And so my whole theme for this upcoming year, I found the little quote, bright mood, better health, right? Of course, you know, I'm a counselor, so gotta get the mood in there, but also, you know, focusing in for me personally, like my health, what that means for me, how I'm staying active, how I'm taking care of my body. You know, I have different things in here just to remind myself of that. This person's doing yoga. This person is out and about in nature, which I find to be really important for me and also my family. I liked this one because it's got a picture of a mom who's got a computer and also our kid climbing on our head. And I think a lot of us as parents can resonate with that, right? We're trying to balance all of the different things. And so for me, this is helping me try and refocus and have that balance and prioritize the important things, right? Like my family, but also realizing the importance of work and how do I balance the two and make sure that I'm giving my best in each ways. With that, I got an Explore one. I think, as this pandemic has been going on, a lot of us are now starting to open up, explore a little bit more, go out. I would like to do those sorts of things. So that's my hope from the upcoming year. This lady looks really relaxed and it says no stress. And that would be something that I'd love to cultivate, is some more self-care and some time for myself. Even just taking a nap would be awesome. And then I found down here setting boundaries. A lot of us, especially those of us who are caretakers and moms, have a tendency to do and take care of a lot of people. So I thought that was important for me to have those boundaries so that I can take care of myself and my family in the best way possible. And then them over here, they look like they're having fun. They're dancing in a rainbow parade, and who doesn't want to dance in a rainbow parade? So I feel like it's important to also have fun and enjoy things. And so that is my vision board. Yours will be what's important to you, but I think it's just helpful, and that's probably going to go up on my fridge just so that I can be reminded. It's a place I go to consistently, and then also to something that's just close in my focal point a lot. So I hope that was helpful in helping you all create yours, and then just trying to figure out, what it is you want. And let me see. The next part is, so this obviously is the way that a lot of people are used to doing vision boards, right? It's paper, tape. I cut some things out of a magazine. I luckily was able to find one magazine in my house. But to be perfectly honest, I literally only had one magazine. So if you don't have that, I wanted to give you all options for something else. And a lot of things, especially, in the pandemic and everything else, we're leaning a lot more towards technology. So I wanted to share with you some options for creating vision boards that you can do either online or on your phone, utilizing apps, all free, because I'm a big fan of free. But the first one I'm going to talk about is Canva, and the second one I'm going to show you is Pinterest. Just because those are pretty easy ways of being able to utilize this, and either do this on your computer or on your phone too. So I'm going to stop sharing that for a second, and then I'm going to pull up for you all Canva, which will be an option for you to also do vision boards. So here we go. Okay. I also shared with you on the PowerPoint, they have a really easy YouTube video to follow that teaches you how to do this. So you just go to canva.com and you can set up your own account and be able to create any sorts of collages or boards or other things that might be helpful for you. And they walk you through the different tools that they have here on the left and how to go about creating your board in a pretty easy way. So this didn't take me very long after watching the 3-minute video. So I recommend you doing that if that's something that you want to explore for yourself. But they have different templates over here on the left. And so you just click on the templates. I just ran through a couple and chose one. That was my recently used one. I just clicked on it and it showed up on the screen. Then they have elements over here where you can add lines and shapes and different things to make it look cute. The photos I grabbed for me, like I said, one of my big things this year is trying to cultivate health for myself and my body and my family. So I just, in the little search engine over here, typed in health and pressed it, and there was a bunch of different things that came up, right? So I want to remind myself to maybe do some yoga or to be active. So I'd probably be picking images that were in alignment with that. And then in regards to text, right, you can type in whatever words or phrases you want to in order to add to your vision board. Okay, so that's one option if you were looking to do it for an online version. Also, Pinterest is the way to go. You don't have to do it that specific way, right? You can, if for those of you who aren't familiar, Pinterest is an account that you can get where you can create different boards for different things. So it's also free and pretty easy to use. You just go in and you can create a board and add different things to your board. So yet again, if I want to add health type of things to my board, I just go to health, search it, and then there's a whole bunch of different things on maybe either healthy eating or cooking, or I liked this one, this reminder right here to stay hydrated, to walk around the block, spend time in the sun, sip tea, eat more mini meals, take a tech break. I mean, just different things like that that will remind me to take care of my health and take care of myself. I do want to warn you, Pinterest can be a rabbit hole. Once you get into it, you can get into it for a long time. So maybe set some timers around that so that you're not consistently doing it. But it's a really helpful tool in regards to finding all sorts of different things for yourself and what you might be interested in creating boards. You might have separate boards. It might not just be one vision board, right? So here you could possibly do a board for health, a board for family activities, a board for travel, and each one you can pin different things that will be in alignment with those certain types of goals that you have for your different subjects. So it's just another pretty cool, easy to use tool for yourself. Not only do I recommend doing vision boards, I think it's important that we do our personal vision boards, right? So we set our own intentions around what it is we want personally. But you can also do this as a whole with the family. So what does the family want more of? And that can be a really nice activity to do together, to kind of sit down and talk about, what's been working well this year and what you would all like to create more or see more of yourself doing in the future, and having your kids kind of jump in too and bring up and talk to you about what is some of the things that they would like to either see more of, whether or not that's movie nights or, having special time with, mom or dad, or, just figuring out what they would like, maybe family dinners. Some of the stuff that kids come up with are pretty cool and might be unexpected for you all, but it's also nice because then as a family, you can all be on the same page too about what it is you all want to create together. So I hope that was helpful. I think vision boards just can be a really nice activity to do for ourselves, just to kind of get motivated and moving towards what it is we want to create. And I hope you have the time and energy and are doing it, and that you set some amazing goals for yourself in this upcoming year.